States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This is the Downtown Development Authority informational meeting. We'll do a roll call. Cody. Jody. Here. Lisa Atchison. Bernie. Sally Howland. Powell.
Here.
Tom Wilkes. David Ringler is excused and Tom Wilkes is excused, right? Yes. I'm Laura Ensley. I'm here. Public comments. Those citizens wish to speak on the agenda and non-agenda items will be allowed a maximum of 4 minutes each to address their concerns. This is the only time during the meeting that citizens are allowed to address the Downtown Development Authority. Please state your name and address for the record if you would like. Anybody have anything to say? Okay. Informational presentation from Darla.
So I like pictures, so I put together this picture board. Cedar Springs DDA and put some pictures up here. This is the main items that the DDA board approved last year. I don't know where to hold this, where it's on the camera. We, along with the Girl Scouts from Cedar Springs and the Ewan family, bought and installed a bike repair station. I think that's a good addition to our town over by the White Pine Trail,
Sorry,
that staging area. We bought the informational sign, so we do have a map of the city there with the name of businesses and events that are going on. We probably need to look at that because it was a lot of Christmas and New Year stuff. Of course, we have the downtown lights displayed all winter long. Get a lot of compliments from that. Last year the DDA did contribute a little bit to the sidewalk projects that we had going on in the city. We're an annual supporter of the Cedar Blitz bike race. 2024, it's July 13th, so that's in the new fiscal year. And then our amphitheater, all of our Wednesday night concerts in the park down there. So it's kind of a picture of the main events and activities that we sponsor and that the DDA money, new fiscal year, but other parking lots in the city, DDA does contribute to surfacing parking lots.
we forgot the ball drop because the DDA helped sponsor that.
I mean, I didn't put everything on here, but there's like annual
Okay.
things.
That was our
So, yep, the ball drop this year. So, nice job. Yeah, I'll be sharing this with city council at the February. I'll have the ball drop.
Awesome.
A lot of these activities are annual things, so you'll see them at the next meeting in the 24-25 budget section. I'm not really sure what to do at this informational meeting, so do you guys have any questions? What has happened in the past? This is just kind of what.
Just goes over the things that we did. Yeah.
Okay.
I think everything this year was great. Don't you guys?
How long do we keep them on now?
I was curious on that as well.
How long can I keep them on?
You're talking all the tree lighting and everything, right?
Well, typically he doesn't take them down till weather breaks. And so I'm game to leave them on. I think it looks great. I mean,
Yeah,
It's
It-
nice to come into town and just see this like row of lights. Like it's inspiring.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, it looks really great.
tell them no hurry and.
I would say,
come.
yeah.
I tell them to not, I'm like, take your time. I don't care how long it takes you to get here. Yeah. I would like them all year, but I know it's not. I was gonna say. I don't-
There's another one in front of the salon, right?
That it hangs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A bit, but not terrible.
Like, are lights not on? 'Cause
No,
they're on,
they're
oh, they're
working,
on,
just-
oh. The cord is drooping.
Yeah,
But the one, the cord's not even connected.
gotcha.
Okay.
I noticed that on.
I wish we had, light plugs on all of our poles up high, so we didn't have to, and I wish when we put our trees in, we would have thought to put underground electric next to our trees. Because that would have been so great.
Trees in different locations. If I can just be a little selfish,
Yeah,
It
yeah.
just blocks.
everything about our facility. So that's hard. Yeah, like you can't see anything from because of that tree, especially when the foliage is there, it just blocks us. So,
But they look
It looks wonderful.
oh, I love it, but if it was 2 feet to the left or right, I'd be even happier.
Possible to replace that big tree with maybe something a little smaller and
Then we have to kill a tree.
It sounds like there's money and sounds like we need a budget for that. Would I love that? Yes, because it does block a lot. And one of our biggest complaints from customers, I didn't even know you existed. Hey, so,
A lot of people say that about the Redbird. and we're
Yeah?
Huge.
saw some
So,
people say
like,
that.
I didn't even know you were there.
Redbird's there.
I'm like, really? We're huge.
I think so many people are zipping through town so fast. I mean,
Yeah.
I get it, and I have incredible signage, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's.
well, it helps that you have all those inflatables too. I thought about it. Our old city manager told me I couldn't do things like that. But that
I
know.
I know. It is something I'm considering.
Flat tire that decided it didn't want to work today.
My apologies. I was coming back from the bank and yes, there was a little bit of traffic.
Do I adjourn?
Nothing else
Okay.
like that?
Any public questions or answer? Anything, guys? Okay, we're gonna adjourn then. To,
Awake? There we go.
gonna call to order the Downtown Development Regular Board of Directors meeting.
January 29th, 2024 at 12:11 PM. If we can please rise and recite the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it
Stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our first order of business is to swear in the newly reappointed members. The only one who's here is Laura, so if you could please stand, Laura, and I'll read you your oath. All right. I'll read it and then you can say I do. I, Laura Ensley, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Michigan, the City Charter Code of Ordinances of the City of Cedar Springs, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of Downtown Development Authority member to the best of my abilities. Okay.
That order?
Before opening the floor for nominations, there are just a couple of housekeeping items. As a reminder, once the floor is open for nominations, you are not required a second nomination. Votes will be called in the order of the nominations. I will now open the floor for nominations for the office of chairperson.
So one can.
Can nominate anybody you'd like for chairperson.
I nominate David.
And per David's request, I will also second Laura's nomination.
Hi, Laura.
So Laura, do you accept the nomination for chairperson?
Vice chair again. If somebody wants to nominate me, I think David can do the first job.
I will also nominate Laura for vice chair.
Still have a nomination for David for chair from Laura. All right. This then let's see here. Mr. Wrangler has provided an email that he will serve as the chairperson if he is elected. So I'm going to move forward with him accepting the nomination. Any other additional nominations for chairperson? Hearing no other additional nominations, I will close the floor for nominations. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion, I will now do a roll call vote for Mr. Wrangler for chairperson. Mr. Wrangler. Need a roll call vote for Mr. Wrangler as chairperson.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, I thought you said Ringler and I'm Angel. That's how I was like, why are you looking at me? It's all good.
Sorry.
You're okay.
Yes.
Will?
Yes.
And Mrs. Bensley? Yeah. And Mrs. Powell? Yeah. All right. All right, flip over here. Since Mr. Wrangler is not present, I will issue his oath of office at a later date. Now I'm going to open the floor for nominations for vice chairperson, which we already have a vice chairperson nomination on the floor, being Mrs. Ensley. Anybody else? And Mrs. Ensley, you do accept, you said? Okay. Hearing no other nominations, I will close the floor for nominations for vice chairperson. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, I will now do a roll call vote for Laura Ensley as our vice chairperson. Mr. Angel.
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Wilks,
Yes.
Mrs. Powell.
Yes.
Ensley.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So I am now going to turn the meeting over to you, Laura, since Dave is absent.
So I'm gonna do the roll call. Angel, sorry, Jesus.
I'm here.
Mr. Byer. Mrs. Ensley, I'm here. Mrs. Howland. Powell,
Yes.
Mr. Wilks.
Here I am.
Mr. Ringler is excused. Public comments, those citizens wishing to speak on agenda and non-agenda items will be allowed a maximum of 4 minutes each to address their concerns. This is the only time during the meeting that the citizens are allowed to address the Downtown Development Authority. Please state your name and address for the record if you would like.
Perry Hopkins, 90 North Main Street. The Chamber of Commerce has our annual budget and events meeting on February 10th, where we decide what events we're going to plan for this next year. We had some awesome, great first-time events this last year. And one of our goals is to try and get as many of the different entities and organizations in Cedar Springs to work together as we can and bring in as many businesses to be a part of these. So I know your budget is not for a few months yet, but after the chamber gets our finalized what events we're going to have, we are going to present to the different boards which ones we'd like them to participate and help us with. The New Year's ball drop and Halloween Spooktacular both turned out good for being the first time that they was done or done in that fashion. So we're hoping that you guys will partner with us again this next year on that. And as well as some newer versions of some of the summer events that we have coming on. So how many people got to come out and check out the ball drop? Be expected.
I will be the first to admit that was significantly bigger success than I expected it would be. In less than 3 hours, I did 50% of the sales we did in all of Red Flannel Day. So I would consider that an unmitigated success.
I'll extend on that. Being a first time event, I wasn't optimistic that we'd have the turnout that we did. the turnout that we had was amazing. I mean, we had people stacked upon stacked of just going shopping, being part of something that frankly was an idea at one point and turned into what it was. All the companies did well. We did super well. So nice job, Perry.
Yeah, we were definitely hands down busier than we ever thought we would be. Um, So I kind of eat my words on that, thinking that, weather and whatever permitted. It ended up turning out to be an awesome event. We're already planning things for next year to make it even bigger at the Redbird. So,
It did its purpose. The idea was to get people into the doors of those that were open. And so we'd like to have that again for New Year's 2025. But we're hoping to create a couple similar events that can do the same thing. The goal is to support our businesses that are here, not just have an event to have an event. The ones that are going to be more specific to the downtown, that's where we'd like you guys to partner with us. Present the ideas to you when we have them finalized, because we're going to try time to get them into the city council meeting for February to start getting our city council approval so that we can start promoting them. The Halloween Spooktacular and the New Year's Ball Drop didn't have a long advertising window, but we made them happen. The New Year's Ball Drop, in kind and donated things, it costs less than $5,000 to put on. The main things that cost us that again would be like the radio advertising, the toiletries, and the policing. But we bought banners that would be able to be reused again. We bought some fire pits that would be able to be reused again, and half of the ones we used were donated for use and presumably will be able to be available next year as well. So some of the funds spent are going to be reusable. So aside from what we gotten in for donations and sponsorships, it was just over 2,500, and the chamber said that they would pay up to 500, and you guys offered to do up to 3,000, or up to 5,000, and you guys said up to 3,000. So the chamber has it within their budget to cover that, but if your board would consider paying part of that 2,500, that'd be great also.
I can only see the agenda. I don't have any of the attachments on here.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I've
You don't
said. How
have
did
it,
you,
yeah.
no,
I'll be done.
yeah, right. I'm out of here.
We can.
If you have a private one, I'll take that. Okay.
I didn't know what your turn.
I know, I'm
Mhm.
like.
I could know.
You know. Okay, you can see something now. There you go. Is there any conflict of interest in ex parte communications? Do you get anything like that? Okay. Somebody want to approve the agenda?
Addition, please. I think the flyer's in your packet, but it didn't get 8F Consumers Energy Foundation. Anywhere?
Will we be adding a line item to talk about, the ball drop, like what we're gonna?
7A is New Year's Eve event.
Okay, good. Sorry. Yeah.
Motion to add the, what did you say, informational packet?
Foundation flyer.
Consumers Energy Foundation flyer to the new business, be E of the new business part of the agenda.
Would be F.
Yep. I'll second.
Any discussion? Okay, Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve.
Vote on the approval of the agenda? I have no idea. Yeah, okay, let's take a roll call vote. Sorry, guys, never done this before, so we're learning. Mr. Angel.
Yes.
Ms. Art. Yes. Ms. Atchison? No. Mr. Byer? I vote yes. Mrs. Holland? Ms. Powell? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, now I go to consent agenda. A motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of the October 30th, 2023.
Second.
We have to motion.
The minutes and the financial statements.
Okay. Motion to approve the consent agenda. Sorry, guys, I'll know next time.
Motion to approve.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. Any discussion? Okay, moving on to number 7, unfinished, no, can't move on. Roll call, got a roll call every time.
Some kind of vote.
Oh, financials, yeah. Mr. Angel. Ms. Art.
Yes.
Mrs. Unsley votes yes. Ms. Powell.
Yes.
Mr. Wilt.
Yes.
Now I can move on to unfinished business. Yes, no? Yes, okay. Unfinished business, New Year's Eve event review. What do you guys think?
As always, Perry outdid himself. Thank you.
Did outdo himself. It was an amazing
Takes
night.
a good team, that's for sure.
From an idea to a conception, our conception was amazing. Like the amount of people that you drew downtown for the first time was outstanding. And I can say on behalf of my company and the other ones that you helped us tremendously that night. So thank you.
I personally am hoping that that the pot shops can open up.
I'm hoping too. I will know on the 8th. So that's something I'm really pushing forward to just kind of get more equilibrium with alcohol sales and cannabis sales so we can be a part of that.
Be equal.
I think it should. I mean, they're both regulated. They're both been approved by the state. Now we just need our city to give it back to the community for what they voted for. So we'll know next week.
Cody, how did your business do? I'm curious.
That was probably one of the second busiest days we've had all last year. So the sales were impeccable. We had a line from our front door to the bar for drinks to carry outside for several hours straight. So that's the most we've done with any drink service for outside. I think outside of that, we might have served 10 drinks since we've had our permit to do that. So that night we definitely.
What do you think? So I wondered this, like, if we did a beer tent, I think that would do a huge disservice for the businesses because people would spend all their time in the beer tent.
Yeah, it would for us, and definitely probably take away some of our sales, but we've already talked about how to set it up better next year. We offered lots of hot drinks to take outside with you that were spiked or not. And so we plan on having like a full station of just that. And then they can go to the bar for other drinks if they want that. We also plan on keeping our kitchen open later. Cause yeah, there was definitely a lot of people that hung out a little bit later for food. Cause I know the brewery closed down at 8 for food service. So everybody just flooded us because we kept our kitchen open till 9. And I told them next year it'll be open till at least 10. But we're also looking at trying to bring in some live music and stuff like that to keep people entertained as well. So.
I think that would be really cool.
Yeah.
We did 300 units of coffee and hot cocoa in less than 3 hours.
Yeah. They were running every time I was in there.
I actually ran out of hot cocoa and had to run to Meyer before it closed to get more and sold all of that before the night was over.
Same.
So in 3 hours, we did 50% of the sales we did in the entire day for Red Flannel. that's unheard of. So that was immensely good for us. So as I said during Perry's speak at the beginning, it was an unmitigated success, and I went home and got up about, I don't know, 16 hours later. Pretty good.
I think that speaks for it though, is like Red Flannel's been going on and it's very well established, but to have an event turn out on its first time and that show just, it shows that people do want to do after hours activities in our city, and we need to do more of those and to bring people out. So
I stood at our, because the ball drop was right in front of our business. I stood at the front door and conservatively, I counted 1,500 heads. That is a very conservative estimate. And that was just what I could see from my front door at the ground level. And I couldn't begin to tell you how many people were actually standing at that corner.
imagine if we did, because I was part of the team initially, but it kind of fell out. But like one of the ideas was doing kind of that like drone show and just do like something like that where, you know,
That was just
the cost on it,
unprohibitively
the
huge.
cost on it's expensive, don't get me wrong, but the turnout, and if we did that well the first round, imagine if we did something that nobody has really seen. I mean, the Detroit Lions just recently did that drone show and that pulled out so many people. Now, if we did something even, you know, just tenth the size of it, yeah, a smaller scale, imagine the draw that we would get from that. So I know we had some fireworks going off and that was crazy and everyone liked that. Well, we didn't, no, but I knew there was.
Private people doing that on the board, that has nothing to do with this.
Correct.
Everybody else in the city.
Yeah.
Backfiring as he was taking off.
But just doing something different that the city hasn't seen before is really what wanted to focus on, is like Red Flannel always turns out so well, but this event was a big comparison to that. So bravo.
There's people from
Mhm.
miles, and I mean, we had some people from India actually that were here on vacation in Grand Rapids and looked up fun things to do for New Year's Eve. We're the only, like, where else do they do a ball drop? Where?
Yeah, and I can't imagine like going into our second year of it, just being able to advertise the amount of business it's gonna increase, cause there, like, just within a week or two before it. I have some friends in Greenville and in Cedar Springs that knew nothing about it, and I was like, really? You guys haven't seen anything about it? I'm like, well, you should come check it out, and they all ended up coming to see it, so.
And there were so many people with their little kids. That was like the cutest thing. Like, there was a lot of little kids and they were so excited. I thought it was awesome. What did you think, Rose? You didn't come out. did
I
you?
was sleeping. I had an early start.
So did I, and I still stayed up all night.
I actually didn't get to participate in it at all because I was homesick. So I was also sleeping by the time the ball dropped.
So what about, how do we want to sponsor it? I mean, obviously, this brought a lot of commerce to our town. I mean, part of, you know, our job is to make that happen, and part of the chamber's job is to make that happen. I personally think we should at least split it with them.
I agree. And that's kind of where I was going earlier, is like, this was an idea. We weren't sure how it was going to turn out. Now that we know how it turned out, more businesses are most likely going to want to be a part of it because they saw how much it drew people into the city. And that's where, again, like, I can compare this to like Tomorrowland. It started on a one stage and all of a sudden now it's a 20-stage event. We just keep doing bigger and better things. It's going to draw more people in. The more people that we draw in, the better the businesses do. So if we support these events, we're supporting our community, and our community will support our businesses.
So now would be the time if somebody wanted to make a motion to. Motion besides me?
To make a motion to contribute. We did what, 3 last?
Up to 3,000 last time.
And we did, what was the total expense? 5?
We haven't spent anything. What we spent
Up to
Right.
2,000.
What we didn't have sponsors or donations for was 2,580.
So yeah, I'd say up to 6 grand.
No, how much do we want to spend this year towards that?
6 grand.
No, towards last year's event. Like, we said that we'd pay up to 3,000. How much do we want to give them? 1,500?
3,000?
But there's only 2,500 that needs to be paid.
Okay.
But
that's
from last year's budget.
That's what.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
okay, gotcha,
We're trying to
okay, I'm
approve
sorry.
next
That's
year.
where I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
That makes
It's Monday and I'm having a case of the Monday, so yes, then yes, I will say that we'll contribute up to the 2,500. Sorry.
Contribute 2,500.
I will second that motion.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because the chamber set up to 5 grand, didn't they?
I assume that.
So, I would think-
After the chamber had paid in, so yes, and correct, yes. Yep. Understood, yes. Okay.
Perry literally got so much free stuff. Like Perry is the master in that, so. Perry, well, that was, Perry, that was gonna be my next question, because Perry shouldn't pay for all of this stuff out of his pocket.
Time.
Perry, how much did you contribute? Okay.
And I only asked him, I only put 1,000 of it in.
Okay, so,
Your own
so
pocket.
3,400 out of your, I motion that we contribute the full $3,000. So Perry can get paid. Perry should not pay it out of his own pocket, in my personal opinion.
Put into this as well.
But you talking about line,
I'm talking that you went door to door. You went as a door-to-door salesman.
So how much, okay, who all did you get donations from? Tell me that. Like, I want
the
this.
train donated. We
Yep.
got the ball donated, which
Yeah.
both would have been over $1,000 a piece. If we paid for that.
That was
Now,
probably-
I'll list all tiers. The brewery did a give back event. My tea shop did this, did the event the same way, and so did, the Aesthetic Sugaring, they did an event where we did. Well, but it did have some, and then donated some, wait, you talking about money or?
I'm talking money.
Money, in Tandem Credit Union donated some, the jewelry shop. Had over a dozen.
Okay. And how, and so you personally put up 3,400 of your own cash.
Not to mention. And going door to door, asking all these businesses for help, so.
The 2,700.
Correct. 1,000 of it.
Okay.
That's
so
where I was going
five
is,
thou- It was over, it was roughly what, 6 grand?
We, of what was, billed for was 4,695. Was 2,115 what was given to us in monetary,
Okay.
not including the in-kinds.
I motion that we pay the full 3,000 so Perry can get, Perry, I don't know if you guys realize this, in our town, Perry single-handedly funds almost 100% of our events, right? Like not, I mean, obviously he gets donations and stuff, but he puts in thousands of his own money. And I know that in countless hours. I personally think that Perry should get paid back.
We all volunteer for certain things. We step up and we give money and we spend hours, countless hours supporting events. And we don't expect to get paid back, but I don't feel that we should start paying people who are volunteering their time and their money. But it is up to the board vote, of course. Because so many of us do support our time and our money.
Move up to $3,000 for this. And if there is room from what they spent for us to give them that $3,000, I feel like we should.
And you-
They approved 1,200, then 1,200 is where they would be, and that would be it. But we did approve in October, willing to get, this body said we were willing to give $3,000. I see no reason why we shouldn't.
I think we also need to look at the fact that this was an idea of somebody that benefited many for our community. It wasn't just benefiting one person, it was benefiting our community, and it was benefiting our businesses. And that's where this is different than us just volunteering our time. Volunteering our time, we do that just because, but this was way beyond just volunteering for ourselves. This was volunteering for an event that benefited both our community and our business.
Yeah, he didn't just volunteer his time. He donated the money as well. So, yeah.
And he brought tons of people downtown and brought in a ton of economy to our city on that one night. So thank you.
I think Perry, from moving forward, you should put that on the bill.
So are we supporting $3,000 or what did you say, 1,500 or something like that? Get paid?
I motion that we pay the 3,000.
Yep. Cody, you want a second?
I will second.
Yeah.
Roll call. Mr. Angel,
Yes.
Ms. Art. Yes. Mr. Wilks.
Yes.
Ms. Ensley votes yes. Mrs. Powell.
No.
Motion carried.
$3,000 is being paid to the Chamber of Commerce. That's where the original request came from. Okay.
Are you coming in? Happy to have you.
I do, but I'm not.
New business, number 8. Proposed budget for the new year. So there should be a spreadsheet in your packet, kind of has 2 yellow highlights on it. This is just very preliminary. I'm estimating the tax revenue for 24-25 fiscal year is going to be about 71,000. Current year it was 66,000-ish. So taxable value is going to go up this year by 5%. It's either 5% or the rate of inflation, whichever is less. Rate of inflation is more than 5%, so taxable value goes up by 5% this year. So we will get an increase in tax revenue from the capture. That's the only revenue that the DDA has to work with. We have $44,000 in fund balance. And I just kind of went through most of these items you see on a regular basis on your budget report. Wages, this is specifically for our public works employees to do this, that, and the other thing that you occasionally ask them to do during the year. Couple $1,000 there. The snow removal is separate. We have had to remove snow on Main Street, so in the current year budget, you will see we will have to use some of that this year for snow removal on Main Street. Materials, 2,500. Winter holiday lights display, Ms. Ensley, I didn't know, is there a annual 2,000, 5,000? I didn't know what kind of number to put in there. So, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I don't need a number right now, but if we can just kind of go through this in the next month, firm up these numbers. So leave that on there. It's an annual expense, right? Okay. Facade program, 15,000. We have 15,000 in this year's budget. So we thought 15,000 until increase that or decrease it, whatever you guys choose to do. I would like to propose to you guys a DDA concierge. That's what we called it in my previous community. That's not what you guys need to call it, but somebody that's specifically dedicated to the DDA to water flowers, promote events, attend the concerts in the park, help the people get set up, make sure our amphitheater is wrapped up when the concert's done. One person to do those kinds of things. 2,500 is 12 hours a week, 13 weeks at $15 an hour from say June 5th to August 28th, somewhere in there.
This person would be hired by the city then, and paid for by us, or how?
It'll be coming out of this DDA's budget. Yeah, city employee paid for by the DDA. Yeah.
Not somebody from the board, somebody that the city hires. Got it. I was just thinking like, okay, I'll do it, but I just wanted to make sure that I was reading this correctly. That's all.
One question, Darla, is minimum wage 15 or 17 now?
Yeah.
10:30.
Yeah.
I don't think it's not even
Yeah,
15,
it's,
yeah.
it's not even 15.
Yeah, I just wanted to like.
Sorry.
It was 10:10. I think it was like 10.
Yeah,
I actually,
just had to change all of my wages in my computer a month ago.
10:33 as of January 2nd.
Each then.
That's what Google says anyway.
I think we need that so bad, so I'm so excited about that.
Yes, we do.
has anyone taken advantage of the facade program?
I have one application in my inbox right now.
Just curious.
Concerts at the amphitheater. I wasn't sure if there's an annual budget number that goes in there. That again, correct?
I think Dave wanted to review something about that.
Figure he's probably knows the budget and everything that's spent for that.
Sure.
I can get with Dave on that one. The bike race, the Cedar Blitz bike race. 2000 has been our contribution the last couple years, so I put that in there again. Signage, DDA has purchased several signs in the district. I didn't know. I'm sure there's a couple more we could do in the new fiscal year. Banners or public art. Looking for a number to put in there if somebody has a suggestion or thoughts on that.
This year and the year before, if I remember correctly, we actually pulled money from that to fund other projects, because there wasn't any art coming in, there wasn't any interest in it. It still needs to be a line items, because it is something that the DDA is responsible for, but it's not something we put anything in, right?
I think we always put $5,000 in there. and if we
Usually,
need to
what,
pull from
yeah,
there,
that
we
was
can.
usually what we did
Yeah.
with it, was 5 to 6, and then just kind of said, okay, yeah. It's there, if we have an opportunity to purchase public art, and if we don't, then we've got this that we can push around as the year moves on.
Flowers on Main Street, we did not purchase them last year. I love them though. And if we have a concierge that's dedicated to watering them, I would be absolutely okay with purchasing the hanging baskets again, but honestly, being the sole person that watered them, and then we had somebody that was doing it, and then they didn't want them to do it anymore, it was very frustrating to watch $1,000 burn up. Cause I was going on vacation and I'm like, listen, we have a dedicated person, but then they didn't want them to do it. They give them a really hard time. So if we have somebody that does that,
We have somebody.
the old city manager.
Well, it sounds like we have a solution already in place on that, so that should resolve that issue.
Flower baskets, if we did something else, like every town has something.
It's meant flower.
Yeah, so last year I did not weed them as much as I have in previous years because I flat didn't have the time. So I think we need somebody that does that because the businesses don't go out and take the initiative to do it. And it is, I mean, literally, we would spend 5 to 10 hours a week doing it. And I was getting a little frustrated, I'm not gonna lie.
Sure.
Something this downtown person could do. I
It-
hate those things. I
they-
wish we could just get rid of them. If people aren't gonna maintain them, I wish we could get rid of them. I mean, we put stuff that comes up every year in them. They need new mulch this year. Last year, the mulch still looked pretty good, but they need new mulch this year, and I've always done that for the
And
last
some
few years.
new of those red plants need to be
The
replaced.
red plants need to be, but we need somebody that can do it, because there's not enough of me.
What?
I don't understand. I'm happy to buy them for y'all, like spend $1,000 and get them shipped here, cause they just drop them off at my store. That's great. But I don't want to maintain them. I wish somebody would do it. You think this downtown concierge could weed the boxes? We could work on something,
That's a, good portion of that job.
whatever. Right now, there's some of them that are bad.
Schools have like a program where we could do like an intern, no?
Need to hire somebody to do it, so it's just done. No, these are your duties every week. Water the flowers, weed, attend the concerts. Well, here's the other option too. If we have people at the jail, so Charlevoix brings the prisoners in town to do the weeding and water flowers.
The work release guys.
The work release.
Yeah.
guy. Yeah, but so I don't know if that's an option, but I say we just pay somebody. It'll just be a heck of a lot easier.
I agree.
Okay. Continuing on, Classics at the Kent. We've done that 1 or 2 years?
I think 2, yeah.
What are we thinking on that? Keep it?
Like according to, if I'm reading last year's expenditure, we budgeted 48 and put in 32. Am I reading that correctly? So if we budget 4. We will cover last year with a 50% bump of the difference. Is my math correct? We budgeted 48 and only used 32. That means there's a $1,600 windfall, meaning that if we can leave a 50% bump in there, still put in more than we paid last year and have something else left over in my budget, or our budget, excuse me. Is my math? Please somebody tell me if I did my math right. Okay, I did it all in my head in half a second.
1,600.
Something that you specifically organize? Is that a Chamber of Commerce thing?
Well, that is no, that's a big Kent theater. That's different.
Your different hat.
I'm on that board too.
Okay.
So, for your opinion, how successful was that?
The second year was better than the first.
Mhm.
So, yeah,
It's
people
building
use
a little
what
more.
from the year before, and also with what we're getting from the monthly sponsors for them, it added an awareness to page, Facebook page.
We
And a lot
also-
of people knew about it.
We also had, and correct me if I'm wrong, but different movies that were like more specific for what we were trying to target, correct?
We got to what type of theme we wanted to go with, because I was given from parameters from previous.
Yeah.
And so then after we had to go down, sure, what theme you wanted, it was easier to pick movies.
Would you say that that helped contribute to bring to more people to this event?
So do you think a $4,000 budget will get us some good movies again this summer?
Basically, you're 400 to 450 per show.
And how many weeks did we have?
Last year you did 8 weeks. Versus the year before you did.
Oh, maybe that's why we didn't use the whole 4,800.
Well, they explained the $1,600 difference because that's 4 times 400. Hey, look at me doing math again. Hooray. Sister Kelly would be so happy.
Yeah, I think we should put that on there.
Ken?
Yeah.
Okay. Contributions to 17 North Main Street, that's the RAP grant that the city wrote and applied for and received. So the city's obligation is 250,000. The grant is 250,000. Looking back at previous minutes of DDA meetings, there was a motion to pledge up to $30,000 for that project. It's being, actually next week, we will be sending out bids, collecting them in February to begin construction is ASAP in the spring of 2024. So
Yeah,
Okay, I was listening, I
I think
swear.
that's gonna be amazing.
Oh, that would be good.
Yeah.
Now that is with the bathroom one. That's yeah, okay. Yep, perfect. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that.
3,000.
Yep.
Gonna start.
I remember
Staring at that blank lot with one picnic table in it for a while.
So the hardest.
Cedar Springs, we did receive the Michigan Natural Resource Trust Fund grant. On paper, we haven't actually gotten dollars yet. We need to wait for the legislature to fund that grant program, but we scored high enough to receive it. By the time we find out, yes, there's $300,000 coming our way. We would have 2 years to spend the money, the grant money. So I would think this is a 25-26 spring of 2025 project. So I think we can wait a year. The 10,000 was this grant program from the DDA specifically. So I put it on the list, but it's, the 10,000 would be in next year's budget. I'm waiting for a price from our engineers to pave the lot at 74 North Second Street. But the DDA board at a previous meeting pledged $20,000 towards that parking lot. Parking lot was 50,000. This is a bigger lot. I would say 70,000 would be a total. So if DA could pitch in 20, that would really help the city coming up with the additional 50. But that will be, that I want that done this summer of 2024.
Still have? Oh, never mind. You said that already. I was listening, I swear. Never mind.
Then something else I brought to your attention, this past year when we were doing Main Street, the garbage cans that are on Main Street right now, I had showed you several pictures. They are in desperate need of replacing. They're expensive.
Those are the.
No, 2020.
2020.
We got 'em there.
Well, here's part of the problem. If you watch when they take those can lids off, they toss them on the top of the lid and it busts them.
And there's a lot of people that take the lid off and go bottle searching. And I've seen that happen a lot in front of my store. And half the time they'll just like let them fall down, or they'll just slam them back down incorrectly.
I
So
think they should have a hinge on them this time that just flips up and is hooked to it, right? Stays hooked to it.
be like locked down, because there's a lot of people that are just constantly going through there, and they don't care at that point, right? They're getting what they want and they don't care about the property. But if we make it so,
Why don't we do a recycle one
That was my. No,
and a garbage can?
if there, that was, yes, I agree that it's gonna kind of make, but it will eliminate
I will
that
agree with
particular
you on
problem.
that.
And it will most likely add at least 50 to 60% of the cost per can to create the bifurcated can. Those are the two things you're gonna have to, that would have to be considered for that. However, and if there's an open top lid where all of the cans and bottles go, bottle fishers are gonna be able to get right in without having to move anything.
No, the poly ones have a lock on them.
And if everything's locked, though, they're just gonna bust the lock to get into those cans and bottles. Anytime you lock something, somebody will bust it to get to what's inside of it. And I lost 2 dumpsters that way, so I stopped locking dumpsters. So
That's a hard one, because like for us, so legally we have to lock our garbage bin.
Right.
And me being the business that we are, our can has never been broken into. I will tell you, we use a pretty cheap lock, but that's just
Cameras and stuff like that all the way.
well, yes and no, because when we bring it to the road, we're on a totally different street where there is no visibility on that. That's just my experience. I can't speak for all of Main Street, but
So do our city workers empty the trash right now, or does the trash company?
No,
Right now, it's the city.
Mhm.
And I mean, all the ones that I've seen that are like the poly ones, they have a padlock on them and they seem to be okay, but it's just a black trash poly one and a blue poly one, but then somebody has to take the cans back.
well, we already have a solution in place for that. If we hire that person, that could be a job. And then what bottles that we do get back, that goes to a budget of whatever we want it to go to. It pays for the cans itself, or the trash cans.
reimburse that person.
Because I mean, we have a concierge service.
See how they work.
Yeah.
How about maybe, can these be painted, or, maybe analyze?
Quick paint job on that would take a full sprayer. How many cans are there?
About a lot.
6 blocks times 2 cans times a block, so 24. So a full-size industrial sprayer could do that in half a day. It would not be hard to spray. It would just be waiting for it to dry.
Manageable. Maybe if,
Which ones are like beyond repair? Like,
Really messy.
I guess I've
we
only
really seen only the couple that I walked past, but I guess I don't look at the condition of them. If they're still functional, then let's paint them. The ones that we need to replace, we'll replace. But I do like the idea that doing a side by side, because we are talking about hiring somebody to go water flowers. We could collect those cans at the same time and pay for the upgrades or replacements.
How much are the side by side cans, I know those cans were a ripoff. They were so expensive. Yeah. Yeah, something like that. But they have one that's actually for recycling. And it has just a little tiny hole so people can't stick trash in it. Yeah. Yeah.
So this unit is $1,298.
That's a lot of pop cans.
Dollars per unit.
Wow.
Okay.
The pallet stores, if they have any. How about Amazon? Should we go look in there? I mean,
What is it? Is it just steel? Is it plastic? I mean, is this some, yeah, well, I know that one's steel, but the ones that we're talking about, they're 1,200.
The recycled, side access doors permit easy trash removal without straining or lifting. UV protected recycled plastic and 66-gallon capacity. Stainless steel hardware and rigid liners included.
need 12 of them. That's a lot of money.
Well, maybe we just do
Aaron,
One in front of the new
17 North Main.
park.
what if we do replace the ones that are really bad and put those, the new ones in the social district? Because that's where a lot of people are going to be, and we trial it in the social district, and then if that works, then we expand out from there. But I mean, most of our people are going to be in the area of the social district, so why not try it there as a trial basis and expand from there if it works? If it doesn't, at least we know.
Can you just replace the lids instead of the whole can? Deeper.
Don't know.
Or do we just want them?
How many are in desperate need of replacing?
These are just pictures that Public Works snapped for me one day before the snow fell and when I brought this, cause like Main Street looks so nice. Now we've got these
We need that many.
garbage cans.
I guess what I would want to know is how many are in need of replacement and then putting a number to it then. But without knowing, it's hard to,
Snow or whatever.
We'll be able to see them by February.
Can we just put like a
What do you-
$5,000 for right now?
The ones that are need a repair, get rid of them and see if the other ones will work on their own. It's not so, we don't have one every 10, whatever they are. Just don't have as many.
I'd be curious to how, I know some like,
What?
Oh my gosh, people drop,
In the summer, they get filled really fast.
like mine out front. it's like-
Cans in.
Yeah.
box.
I'd be curious to talk to Public Works and see how full each one is consistently and then kind of gauge it from there.
It's just a budget right now, right? So I say that we put $5,000 there, just, I mean,
You're talking as a placeholder, but we're not
Yeah.
committing to buying anything.
Yes.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
okay, are we done with, the budget?
So I'll get with Dave on, the concerts at the amphitheater. I'll talk to you, Laura, about the winter lights.
I'll get a quote from him for next year or for this year and then go from there.
So are we
Okay with, so proposed as is was 82,000, 71,000 revenue, taking the shortfall out of the $44,000 fund balance.
Number in the lights, cause that's right.
Whatever it comes out to be.
Not to change that or anything, and I'm sorry I was late, but I just sat down when you talked about the snow removal, which is a sad subject to me, or a subject. What did you say about the snow removal one more time?
Since
bud-
we did get a
Lot of snow already this year. So in this year's budget, we will be using some of the snow removal line item. Cause we've already scooped up the corners and hauled them away.
You haven't though. You've done in front of City Hall.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not here to debate that part of it. That the whole street, both sides of the street is full of snow. You can't open your doors. I mean, back to my argument from years and years and years ago. I don't know what we can do about that. I'd rather have the money, get Deans or somebody down there, get rid of that snow, so they get in your building.
I personally think we should shovel it into the parking spots and then the city couldn't plow it. Like, that's what I would like to do, but I was told I couldn't when I was doing it. So, I mean,
Snow into the parking spots in front of your building?
supposed to do that. Cause you're putting it into the road.
Which is what you're doing. If you go,
I think you should be able to. I think that all the businesses in front of their business, when it snows, when we're out there shoveling it, when our companies that we hire to shovel, why don't they just push it in the road and the city can come through with the plow truck and plow it out?
Then you're bringing that sidewalk in and then it's a mess.
it's a mess because the people that wanna go to your store can't park there and open, if passengers can't open the door, they can't open the door. Unless they park in the street, and then it's dangerous for other people to open it. I've said that for years and years and years. And I don't know why I'd rather take all the money and get rid of the snow first. You go to Morley, Michigan, I was in Morley, you go to Morley, there's not a drop of snow on the curbs. They've taken care of it. Go to Sparta, go to Rockford. Cedar's full of snowbank and it's dirty.
I think they put it in the street.
Think what?
I think the other towns put it in the street.
Care?
I don't think they come through and plow it out.
That pathway for people that are parking on the side to gain access to the sidewalk is, that's a big issue, cause if you don't make paths for them, they've gotta go all the way around to figure out how they can get through that big giant pile of snow.
Yeah, we're out there every day making passes.
That's what we do.
Every day.
Pull your car up there, your passenger, you still end up in a snowbank.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to bring that up. I wanna know if there was any money for it. How much
I was not aware that that was the process, so as the city manager, I agree with Laura. You talk to DPW and see,
They say yes, I'm so excited.
Just
Awesome.
push it into the road.
you're gonna haul the snow away in front of your own business? That's ridiculous.
But when we shovel it, so I was out there with my shovel one day, right? And I'm putting it in the street and
Tell you you can.
Oh.
That doesn't mean they out there you can't go like this.
I don't know what you just did.
Your lawn trimmings in the road because
it's on a parking spot.
Hey, O'Dowd's to take one pass down the sidewalk. Maybe we talk with them and say, what are our other options?
And O'Donnell's does a fabulous job.
Well, because a big portion of what the bank that he's referring to is caused by the snowplow coming down Main Street.
And us shoveling, because for us, we don't have a spot where we can shovel, so we have to stack it along that edge.
Yeah.
Because we don't have anywhere else to go with it.
What do you do with that snow out in front of the city hall?
Backhoe, and we dumped it over on at our lot on West Street.
I say we budget to do the whole town, or to Pine Street or whatever, that's maybe to Maple, I don't know, or not. To the Brewery.
Liability, like somebody trips in.
Bernie, because I had the same problem back in the day. That we should have something in our budget to remove that sidewalk snow. As a line item. If we use it, we use it. If we don't, we don't. But it is very important. We had a heck of a time getting across the street to the Redbird. Everything was to the theater. It was just impossible.
No, you can't climb over that thing, that bank of snow.
Now it's frozen.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, I didn't mean to bring that up, but
I'm glad you did, actually.
thorn on my side.
I think
for a
we're
long
so
time.
used to it, but imagine if we didn't have to be used to that and
I believe.
put our sandwich signs back on the sidewalk and not on top of a pile of snow. Although it works, I have to say it works a lot better because it's at the,
Up that line item?
Big sidewalk, bank, street bank, snow banks to be removed.
Well, there's at least there's something in there. It's 5,000 now. Finish the other line items and see where we're at.
Should, yeah, do that. But my point though, again, I'm gonna say now, shut up, is there's $5,000 there and the snow's all up and down the street. Is it you, it's DPW, is it ours? I'll be glad to be the snow,
Snows are.
somebody down there, or you, Laura, you could be, or anybody could be.
Listen, I am crazy about the front of my building, so I'm the lady that's out there every day blowing off the dirt. Just cut that. Nice. Yeah, yeah. Okay, are we moving on?
Yeah.
The ad in Michigan Trails Magazine.
So I'm just bringing this to your attention. This is a magazine that, if we have an ad in here, we will get copies that we can give away or whatever. There is a whole page, not a whole page, but it has the White Pine Trail. So where it has Cedar Springs on this last year's magazine, page 67, it shows the whole trail up to Sand Lake. Rockford Bike Shop has an ad in here, Herman Boy, Holiday Inn Cedar Springs. Off. Do you think it would be like the smallest ad is like the size of a business card and it's $445?
Yeah.
You think the DDA would benefit at all by having an ad in here?
Put a DDA ad in here, I just put Red Flannel Town welcomes you to the White Pine Trail, something. We'll just,
Ad as opposed to a DDA?
How many times have
Council
how many
wanna-
people here have seen that magazine?
Of it.
I've seen it, yeah,
Have you? I'm done.
but I haven't seen it in a long time, but I used to. Where is it distributed?
I don't,
So whoever puts ads in here, they get supplies to distribute. If nobody from Cedar Springs puts ads in here, maybe the Holiday Inn is the only place that has books. I'm not sure.
you know, have a full weight. Do they?
A what?
Stipulation, well. In Cedar Post, it kind of tells you where you can, or not Cedar Post, the Rockford Register tells you where you can pick them up and buy them. Pick them up.
so just thinking out loud, I travel a lot, right? I just wonder if it's a waste of money.
It's very interesting.
Did you see it at the hotel?
Look, I went in there one day at the meeting. Otherwise, I would have.
Never seen it.
Just thought I'd bring it to your attention.
Our library. convenience place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any more discussion on that? Michigan Downtown Association.
So I've received a couple of these flyers. We are not a member of Michigan Downtown Association. We could be if you wanted to be. Just a question. Do you think we're doing okay, or do you think we need to visit things like this to get new ideas?
About this last year. We even talked about sponsoring a member to go, and I think it just kind of ended up falling to the wayside. Other than that, I remember that. Am I the only one that remembers this?
I remember briefly talking about it, but I don't remember us actually scheduling anybody to go or anything like that.
Something
I think is missing, and maybe I'm wrong,
like, we're talking about. the
24-25 budget. What's our long-term vision for the DDA? 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Is this somewhere?
And I don't know about it, or
I think we should.
Do a year at a time?
and call it good?
Yeah.
We talk about stuff, we shelve it, we have for years. And then we pick it up down, like when we got money, now we have money. So we haven't done anything in a long time because we never had any money till a year ago, years ago, whatever it was.
So why don't we create an action item? And a lot of times, like other communities do like a master plan where they forecast out 5 to 10 years of what we'd like to accomplish. And we sit down and we brainstorm. What do we want this board to do? How do we want to facilitate that? And what do we want our city to look like in 10 years and how we can contribute to that?
We did do that last year, and I don't remember where those minutes are.
Yeah, whatever happened with that?
Cause I remember
had
that
guys
meeting
come in,
and it,
remember?
yeah, there was we did it, you weren't a member of the board yet.
okay.
We did it at the fire station
did.
last summer,
Yeah,
I think. And it was a full day thing, and
and-
we spent a lot I don't on it, and gosh, if I know where
I don't
any of it
remember
is.
anything that came from it.
Yeah.
So I take it everything that we brainstorm, we've not done.
We actually brought in somebody, same guy that did the one for the city master planning session. We had our own master planning session. Were you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, not last year, but the year before. I remember doing it. I remember attending it. Dave brought us food.
So I'd be curious what was talked about and did we hit any of those action items or is that,
Biggest thing I remember that came out of that was we knew we needed to get that parking lot paved, and if that's gonna happen
Yeah.
this year, that was a 5-year goal that I definitely know we were saving money from that. I remember that. I remember, actually, I think it was the first time Dave talked about the Cedar Bike Blitz being
Yep.
sponsored by the DDA. It was right after he'd done it for the first time, and they did it the second time last year. So we talked about this DDA putting more money into that. I remember that. I remember. Oh, we had, Bernie, you talked about snow. I remember talking about snow in that meeting too.
I guess we.
hold the minutes on that?
Review.
And they gotta be running
You from there? Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause I feel like that had to have happened right before I joined.
Feel we need to,
New fire station.
We can
right?
update.
Just after it opened.
Yeah. Sweet.
The first time I ever spent an extensive amount of time in that building, so it had to have been relatively, in the last 4 years.
well, I mean, doesn't cost us anything to share this when we get it. If something comes on here that maybe I want to recommend, or you guys see, oh my God, we need more information on that. Well,
Interested, I can go do it.
thank you.
Did I say that right? Did I murder it?
Lisa Vanderbrink, Lisa.
Vanderbrink, the conceptual drawings.
So that's these two maps.
This is something Mr. Womack, had council approve and had done before he left.
Two concepts, Regal Park, Morley Park. The playgrounds need updating. I think they're in your packets, right? Take a look at them. In my opinion, Regal Park, when you have water, you need to take advantage of featuring that water.
Mhm.
So why are we trying to shade the water when I think we should have a path right along the water, the whole, continue our sidewalk, walkability, connectivity. This is what they came up with. I don't know where this came from, but, so that was a thought that I had on Regal Park. Morley Park, I just, some of the play structures down there really need to be updated. Pickleball is really popular. They are proposing pickleball courts down here, south of the Boy Scout cabin. A pavilion over here, kind of off of Main Street. That can be rented similar to the other pavilion down there. Have any thoughts?
Thought one of our goals was to eliminate driving through the park.
So that is a possibility, where you come off, Cedar Street.
Cedar Street, yeah.
You kind of loop down here.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to apply for a Kent County CDBG grant. Like we've done the sidewalk project throughout town, but now that we got money last year, we need to wait 4 more years to apply for that.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think about that? So where the road is, turn it into a footpath instead of a drivable surface.
The only thing that I can see with that is we would have to move the handicap swings.
Hmm.
Because we have a lot of people that utilize those.
It's there strictly for accessibility to the playground, because there's no handicapped accessibility to the playground if you remove that road.
Yeah. That would be really bad.
Well,
Possibility coming from the other side.
couldn't park here and use the path on a wheelchair to get to the ADA accessible swings?
As someone who spent a significant amount of time in a wheelchair, it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
So maybe we strategically move them to where
If-
parking.
Yeah, if the accessible structures were moved to closer to where the accessible parking is, you're going to eliminate that problem.
Yeah.
So as I get, that's the biggest reason why I'm like, yeah, leave that road there, because all summer long, if you're in a chair, you ain't getting to those, you ain't getting to them
Well,
swings.
and they won't. I mean, because, I mean, you're trying to push a adult-sized child, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Across something that's,
When they got put in together, it was a big fundraiser thing out. I remember Christine Burns was the city manager at the time.
they get
Perhaps
used
paving
a
that path
lot.
would be.
Or
as a
paving
walk-
it, yeah.
Walkable path, making things easier for a wheelchair.
Putting more, concrete surface or whatever, connecting things.
Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
We'd have to make that parking lot way better. That parking lot is horrible. But how would that work if Skinner Field was, like, how are people gonna access it when Skinner Field has something going on? Because that parking lot fills up.
Well, the city's currently in negotiations with the owner of this parcel here.
Yeah.
to Purchase this, make that a much more formal parking lot, and then
Walk path.
a walk path or something connecting that to this.
Good.
That would be additional parking. How to create more parking over by Skinner Field. I haven't looked at any of that yet.
Lose two of the pickleball courts and just expand it to the south.
Instead of coming off Cedar Street, it comes from the parking lot over on this side. Have the, instead of coming all the way around here, just
Might actually be more expensive than moving the swings.
Yeah. Yeah, because pavement is super cheap.
Boy Scout cabin too.
Yeah, I think we should go back and look at that for sure. Cause I think there's in that, like, why we'd put trees around water is beyond me.
I agree with that.
Wow.
I mean, part of.
I think
what-
some trees, because a lot of people,
This concept?
Yeah.
The total price was 14,000. It was these two, and there was something else on the list I haven't seen.
But I could have done it cheaper. Something with the boardwalk thing allowing the.
We need to probably meet with some of those entities
Yeah.
and see what their vision is as well. Because we are a water town and most people don't realize that we're a water town. We have never taken advantage of that.
I say we revisit this and put a little bit more thought. Yeah.
If you want to email me suggestions.
Have any?
Okay.
I can pass them
Um,
along and-
Bring back revised.
The National Fitness Campaign.
Yeah, so I have I had a couple emails, I had a phone call, I met with this lady,
Mackenzie.
Coltrane.
So
In Michigan specifically, they are trying to put these all over the United States, but, outdoor fitness centers. Priority Health is funding Michigan's grant project. They will fund 1/3 of the grant. The community that wants one of these to go into their community would have to come up with 2/3 of the cost. There are 3 currently in Kent County already existing, one on the south side of Grand Rapids, one in Allendale, and one just west of Walker in a township. There's 30 up and running in Michigan. So I just wanted to play this little clip just to give you a little bit more information of what this is.
We're changing the way America thinks about fitness. From college campuses to city parks and trails, we're bringing free fitness everywhere, and we're just getting started. Hi, I'm Mitch Managit, founder of the National Fitness Campaign. National Fitness Campaign was founded in 1979 when we opened the first fitness court. Redesigned for the 21st century, the fitness court is the world's best outdoor gym. Our 7-movement, 7-minute system allows you to use your own body weight to get the perfect workout. Easy or hard, it will work for you. Our goal is to build healthy communities by making outdoor fitness an essential part of people's lives so that each day is better than the last. Now more than ever before, it is vital that we move fitness outdoors to remain safe, healthy, and strong.
Michiganders, as soon as we can, we go outside, which is one of the reasons why the fitness court was such an attraction to us. What impressed us most was their basic philosophy that they want to provide world-class fitness for free. Truly, anyone can use it, no matter what your age is, no matter what your physical fitness level is, no matter what your skills are. It is very adaptable.
Thousands of certified ambassadors will be trained to deliver classes, challenges, and clinics as part of our national fitness campaign. New programs are bringing students outdoors across America. The Fitness Court mobile app is your gateway to enroll in these programs. Simply scan the new digital wall with your phone to access a library of free workouts designed to optimize your experience on the fitness court. Learn the moves and take challenges as we dig deep to create impact for our partners across America. This year, we are thrilled to introduce Fitness Court Public Art. Cities have the opportunity to select a local artist to design their fitness court using the power of the arts and fitness outdoors in iconic public spaces. We're proud to have helped cities of all sizes raise millions of dollars from respected sponsors to support free fitness. Wherever fitness is a priority, you can find a fitness court. We're partnering with large cities using urban movement data to map the best locations for healthy infrastructure. We're bringing fitness courts to within 10 minutes of population centers everywhere.
They provide these wraparound services that from a city's perspective, that's what you want in a partner like this. You want it to come presented to you on a silver platter with a bow tied around it. They're one of the best partners, I think, that I personally have ever worked with.
We serve almost 1.2 million members across Michigan. And this partnership really is an opportunity for us to bring scalable, free health and wellness opportunities to our community. So I would actually invite cities and organizations, big and small, to explore the opportunity to invest in fitness courts. To be very honest with you, the feedback from different municipalities and different communities has been very positive.
We're committed to raise $150 million to bring the campaign to 1,000 cities and schools, building the largest fitness movement in the world. Join us. Let's make world-class fitness free.
We're trying to find new locations to install these facilities. Do you think something like that would be used in Cedar Springs? Yeah.
Yeah, let's take it.
People doing.
Yes.
Utilizing the space is free. We used to have to pay for the space though.
Stuff like that. If it's in one of our parks or something.
Because like the city has to pay to build the thing, but once it's there, anyone who wants to use it gets to use it. Right. And it becomes a, public workout feature.
Fitness has been kind of this new movement too, where a lot of people are really trying to transition. So yeah, it might be a nice addition.
I can see that going where two of those pickleball courts are. Right next to it, yeah.
Well.
I know.
I think we should go near the trail.
Yes.
I think it should be near.
By the staging area
Park.
or Morley Park, also on the trail.
Yeah.
But if you can get to it from the trail, I run the trail 4 days a week. That would be a nice pause on my run.
It would be an awesome pause, yeah.
To the amphitheater, that big lot there,
That's what I was thinking right there.
except for.
It sounds great. Is there a maintenance feature with that? I mean, you have to oil the hinges or bearings or whatever, and all that kind of- somebody's gotta maintain that.
Yeah, most of that looked like it was static. The only thing that I saw really movable was like the handlebars. Yeah.
That would be a big.
Piecing, yeah.
I thought it was a good idea. I want to go check out one of these that's already up and running.
I'm on your side.
I would like to see it and go visit one and
The seventh station is one side, then like they said, the back of that, you could hire somebody to put public art. They're also, so that concept is about 150,000 total. To 200,000 on the other side of that wall and just have a surface area for like outdoor yoga workouts. I wasn't sure. I know when I was on the NKCE board, a lot of instructors said, well, do you have an outside area that we can do yoga and fitness outside? And I'm like, Morley Park, but you're in the grass. I know, there was a series last summer, a couple weeks free down at the amphitheater. So they were underneath the eave of the amphitheater. So I think instructors are looking for outside areas that they could hold their classes.
I was looking at those closest locations and for them specifically, did they tell you there's one in Big Rapids?
I just asked Kent County.
Okay. There's one on the campus over at Big Rapids in Rotary Park, but from according to their information, yes, there's Allendale, Talmadge Charter Township and
This is free? correct?
Ottawa Hills.
No, it would cost $150,000 to bring it here. We could get 1/3 grant. Priority Health would fund 1/3 of the total.
So the city would have to come up with 100.
So just getting your feedback. Should we add it to our list, you know, to consider?
Future, for sure.
Yeah, on our goals list.
Yeah, long-term goals list.
Okay, Beth, I don't remember what it was.
That was that thing.
So the last thing, I'm sorry, I didn't get, this was in your packet, but it wasn't on the agenda. Consumers Energy, I just got this emailed to me. 3 prizes. First prize is 25,000, second prize 15,000, third prize 10,000. Put your town on the map. Basically, so I logged in, kind of went through the steps. There's 2 questions that we would need to answer. Tell us how your idea will put your community on the map. So we would need to come up with an idea, present it to them. And then the second question is, tell us how the funding will help you implement your idea. So is it adding more events to Cedar Springs? Is it Morley Park?
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Cause if you win first place on this grant, now that $150,000 is cut in half to 75 that needs to be brought up. Cause we joint ventured those 2 items together. Cause as I said, looking at their map just now, there's 20 miles that way, 30 miles the other way. Makes sense to put one in or near Cedar Springs on the White Pine Trail, and wouldn't be a terrible idea to try to joint venture it if we did it.
Yeah, see, on the bottom of the flyer, it says revised pitch competition 2024 schedule, February 15th, submission is due. So we're talking 2 weeks, that's gotta be submitted. And do we have the time to make that happen?
If we get further on that for next year, keep this in mind, pair them together.
I like the idea.
It takes electricity, consumers like you to spend electricity.
I want some.
We'll have to put up a light.
Yeah, make.
Hey, you know what? With Laura's lights, that's what it is.
Use it until midnight or whatever, I don't know. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, number 9, do we have any correspondence? 2024 calendar.
Last
The
page.
FYI.
Mhm.
Okay. City manager, DDA directors report.
I think I've spoken about everything
Good job. Trustee comments, Mr. Byer.
Said about the snow and I'm sorry I'm late.
Angel.
I'm good.
Okay, Ms. Art.
I think I'm good for today.
Mr. Wells.
Yeah, I have only one thing to say today. This will serve as my final meeting on the DDA. Due to personal and medical reasons, I have to step down. So this is my last time with you guys. I wanted to make that announcement in person. I didn't want to do it, I wanted to come the last 2 months, and the reason why I'm stepping down is why I haven't been able to make it since September. So that all having been said, I have to step down from this board. This will serve as my final time here.
Thank you for serving on the DDA board.
Follow.
Sorry to see you leave. It's been a pleasure to get to know you on this level and very happy to have your wonderful bakery in our city. And fully support you, Bernie, on getting the snow off the sidewalks. I always have. We haven't got very far with it, but we're gonna have to put our foot down. And
All of it, go to other cities and look at it.
I agree. I agree. Thank everybody and Happy New Year.
Well, Mr. Wells, thank you. What a pleasure, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Also having you as a neighbor, we love you,
Yeah.
so I'm sorry to see. Yeah, that's all I got. I guess if we're done, I think we can adjourn this baby.
This is me.
Or you want to